So you all heard from Sri, our entire AI story. I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach and going to go a little bit deep dive and show you how RPA is going to play with AI. So my name is Bala. I also work for Microsoft. I'm a cloud solutions architect. I've been doing a lot of digital transformation, AI, IoT kind of projects for a long time. So first of all, thanks for having me here. Look, Carlos, can you hear me? Can everybody
Yes.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, Bala. All good.
Perfect. So I think I'm assuming that where is Ron? You're taking over him?
Ron is looking at retirement. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He just had some.
Finally.
No, 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 no. I'm kidding. You know,
I hear
Ron
you.
is Angelbeat and Angelbeat is Ron. So he
Yeah, it's
just
like a baby.
had some family stuff he needed to handle. So he
Gotcha.
sent his younger version, more good looking version to handle the stuff.
I think the best one too. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you, Bala. Go ahead.
So today, I'm going to go take a different angle on what RPA is and how we can incorporate RPA. And I'll show you some scenarios of how we can actually do a very low code approach of using our existing AI, which Sriram was talking about. Most of it, I'm not going to touch the search side of it, but I'm going to touch on the cognitive services side of it. So as you all probably would have heard this bunch of time, RPA is there and it's been there. It's been there in a different form. Um, Lately, this has gotten a lot more attention in the recent years. Any repeatable work that a human or myself or yourself can do, then it can be automated. At the same time, not just using the logical business logic, rather use some AI is where we are going to look at it. So this traditionally, historically, this has been either logical and then it became API based, if else rules and things like that. But in common scenarios, like if you want to process something from email or just log into a website and grab some scrap data or moving files, filling in forms, things like that are very normal candidate. It's also in a business sense, it's also called as business process automation, right? We can talk to different systems and derive some insights or make some actions or do something about it. That's basically what under the cover RPA is. There are a bunch of tools and technologies which has been available, but I'm going to show you platform as a service, how you can easily build things rather than making it complicated. So what is RPA? It's basically like an very back in the back, like an invasive solution that runs in the back. There is no change to end-to-end processes, but it takes some of these processes and tries to automate it. No change to the actions involved. It'll still we can keep the humans in loop. Just it'll augment the humans' work basically. Use humans as needed, but at the same time give humans the right information to take decision on. And we don't want all decisions to be taken by computers. We can do like gated RPA kind of concept. So what does that mean? Let's say RPAs are very much used to in redesigning your business processes and automating a lot of workloads. And we'll talk about what are some of the use cases like in HR or in finance, onboarding a user or creating a new account, or mortgage workflows. Like it has to get approvals in so many different layers with so many middle companies that brokerage firms that has to approve and things like that. So on a nutshell, if you look at it, it's process identification, going into process simplification, and then prioritizing, and then processing design documentations, and then you can actually build that as an entire RPA kind of solution. So it runs in the back end. We don't have to touch it every day, but at the same time collect and monitor it and make sure that the processes what it is running. You can also take that concept and create like a factory kind of model where make the process very generic and just do it like a deployment, like testing and deploy and provide support. Like for example, like you can, if something goes wrong, send the information to the support guy so that they can actually take a look at it. And I mean, there are scenarios in here which will be very helpful for call center type applications. So this is basically kind of how that RPA is evolving into redesigning your business processes. Now, RPA in a regular sense, it can be done in multiple ways. But let's talk about how we can add intelligence to it. So you can see, usually RPAs are logic driven. You can have like workforce do more important things than doing repetitive tasks. These are software and APIs that are talking to each other. Now, the best part here is like in the design process, how can we incorporate AI? This is what we usually call the cognitive capabilities. How do you add vision, or how do you add like OCR, like what Sri was talking about, or how do you add text translation, speech to text, text in different languages, things like that. And basically, like he touched upon the form recognizer, which is very widely used. Form recognizer, like if you want to process your monthly bills, or if you want to process checks, you want to process forms that are very standard oriented, handwritten, and typed form. Those are all awesome candidates for us to apply cognitive automation. I will also show you a sample that I worked on. I'm actually working on it. How to take an audio sample and run it through for a call center type situation. This is just to show you guys. You can I can share that link also, and you guys can repeat it if you want to learn from it. Some of the key benefits is like it actually, the main thing that it concentrates is speed and productivity. So we want to give the time back to the regular users so that they can do much more high value strategy or tactical things rather than doing repetitive work. Accuracy is also another important thing, compliance. And then of course, flexibility is more important, but continuous improvement is another thing that we have to make sure that RPA is actually learning and it is getting better and better when it's using the intelligent aspect of it. That being said, there are a bunch of benefits in RPA. The industry is already seeing it a lot. I mean, this is a pure marketing slide. Just basically TCO, avoid, reduce risk. That's more and more the way that I see RPA is like it's basically a productivity increase tool, so that we can avoid human errors, and at the same time we can give human back the time that they can do much better things, right? That's basically where every company is looking at that. How do we improve employee productivity? Now, these are some of the stats that we have run through multiple companies, and of course in multiple segments. And they are not just a stat; they are also really real. I have worked on a couple of projects, and really, like, you can automate a lot of these like, you know, repetitive workloads, and save a lot of time to put into like building new systems, coming up with better business processes or better systems, and also even upskilling ourselves. So RPA, and this is a huge list of use cases. When I share it, you guys can go take a look at it. There is no one place that is where it's concentrated. It's everywhere in the business, literally. So these are some of the financial use cases. I'll skip that and let's go back to what do Microsoft add to that RPA story. So you all heard from Sri how Microsoft is actually working towards our AI platform, right? One of the main thing that I'm going to cover is like the top two part of it. This is where we took our learnings and converted that as APIs so that our customers can benefit out of it. Language, vision, decision, and speech are the main categories. On top of it, we have some of these services which are extremely important. The video analyzer, metrics advisor, form recognizer, bot services, cognitive search, and immersive reader. What's very specific about it, right? I mean, yeah, it is there, but combining few things with cognitive services, and there are tools, orchestration or workflow tools that you can combine both together and really build your RPA solution, which is cloud ready. Now, not only just stop on that, we have about 30 or so cognitive APIs, but if you don't like them, you can also go use our platform to extend and custom build your own. That's where the Azure machine learning comes. If you have attended my previous Angelbeat conferences, I've showcased a bunch of machine learning, how you can even build very no code kind of or low code kind of machine learning modeling with our Azure machine learning platform. Now, is that everything is necessary? Not really, right? So here are some of the stats, how AI is being applied. And these are like some of our stats, how it is getting used. Here is our major portfolio of the product line is. Now, let's get into the main content of it, how all these things come together. So we do have a business logic processor, which is we call logic apps or PowerFlow. Combination with our cognitive APIs will become an extremely powerful tool. So let me go back and show you something. Let me know, can you guys see the screen? Yes?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Say, take a scenario. So you have everybody knows about call centers, and everybody knows that most of the call center application do collect audio files, right? So what I'm going to show you is like using our cognitive services and logic apps, how you can actually automate things and take insights out and save it and do analytics or dashboarding in the later sense. Assume you have bunch of files like wave files. These are like sample call center application file, right? Now, obviously, we can have a person listen to it and type it out. That's always a possibility. Now, I don't want to do that. So what I'm doing is this is our Azure Logic Apps, which is basically like a workflow engine tool. And this is our Azure Machine Learning Platform. I'm not going to go to this hardcore stuff. I'm going to show you some of the easiest way how you can actually derive, go to market faster, plus you can increase productivity. All I'm doing is I'm going to load the file, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to read that audio content. Of course, the audio content, when you read, it has to be a binary, so it'll intake as a binary. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call our Azure Cognitive Services speech-to-text API and pass in the audio file, and then that is going to give me an output which will be fully parsed, and I can actually show you the output as well. So let's look at it. And these are all mostly JSON outputs. And this is the output. So I can take this And I'm going to show you, go to an JSON formatter, and you can see it actually converted my speech into lexical, and then it also will give me the masked version and the display version. So it converted the speech to text. So AI did that for me. I didn't have to do anything, just a simple API call. I was able to do it. Now I didn't want it to stop with that. Now I wanted to also, what I'm doing is I'm saving it back as the file that you saw. And then what I'm going to do is I'm creating few variables in here. If you're programming and if you're into the weeds, otherwise don't go too much to it. Just taking some of the details from the previous API and then composing it into a new message. This becomes your the newer input to other API services, and I'm going to send it to text analytics. And in here, just this one API has got like 4 different functionality. I can extract key phrases. I can extract PII data. I can extract sentiment out of it, and I can also extract entities out of it. All of these, I'm going to take it and I'm going to process it and I'm going to save it here. So as you can see, like we can actually put things together and then derive all the outcomes here. Now at this point, we can actually automate this as the as it comes. Like every file lands in, it'll automatically do, or you can also do bulk processing in here and take this data form and do whatever analytics you guys wanted to do. So as you see, like how easy it is to use our cognitive services and use business process tool. Now I didn't add much logic here. You can also add if logic in here. Say for example, if it detects certain PII, and if I wanted to email somebody, I can do that. I didn't already. This became too complicated, so I just hold off on it. But you can actually do a lot of workflow type activities in here with conditional formatting as well. So far, make sense? Okay. So that's basically how we can actually do RPA. One way of doing RPA. I'm not going to say that that is the only way of doing RPA. That is one way of doing RPA. And not only that, our cloud we have everywhere. We have more than close to 50 locations span across the entire globe, and we also have compliance country-wise and certifications for most of the regulated industries. So now let's look at why. You can also add to RPA what we call the cognitive conversational piece as well, which serves you as like an where we can query something and it can provide information. So if you look at how all these comes together, we call it AI powered apps. So basically, all these customers are on the left side are using it. The way they do is we pick up data from multiple sources and use logic apps or functions or data factory or some other integration engine. And we also have chatbot services to provide conversational UI. So the business logic is what I just showed you guys. And of course, you saw document processing Chevron example that Sriram was showing about. There are multiple others in different areas which are available in our website as well. So under the covers, what is this? How would you build your own AI-powered RPA or AI-powered apps? What would you do? So here is how our platform provides you. You can bring in multiple sources from everywhere, any cloud, bring it in. You can either use the cognitive services or build your own custom machine learning code. And not only that, to add and make the make like an intelligent conversational agent if you want. You can add the bot services on top of it. But to add more insights to it, add the cognitive search, which gives you the power of searching and looking into different type of PDFs, images, and things like that. And then you can actually expose that either as a Kubernetes service or app services and deliver to the end user. So as you can see, like we have RPA, but we also have the entire platform cohesively coming together to build your own app.